I call Chris Bishop.
Thank you very much, Mr Speaker. This bill, the sponsor of it would have you believe, is being advanced with noble intentions. It's just seeking to implement the recommendations of the Electoral Commission review, and Labor's not trying to play party politics with this issue. It's all for the glory of the country and the benefit of our electoral system. You know, it's not about the self-interest of the Labor Party or the Green opposition. No, it's all about the beauty of the electoral system. That's what they would have you believe, Mr Speaker, except the truth is the exact opposite. Mr Speaker, there are 4 reasons why this bill should be voted down tonight. The first is that it has been advanced in bad faith by its sponsor. And as I said before, Mr Galloway would have you believe that this is some sort of noble endeavour. Except, Mr Speaker, and here's the rub, and here's where his argument falls down. The Labor Party's intention to lodge this bill and to get rid of the electorate seat threshold waiver was announced before the Electoral Commission review reported back. So before the recommendation was to reduce the threshold down to 4% and get rid of the electorate seat waiver, the Labor Party had put it on the record they were going to get rid of it. So that absolutely puts a lie to the claim that this is some noble sacrifice, noble act by Ian Lees-Galloway and the Labor Party. They had announced it before the recommendations of the Electoral Commission. Why? Because this bill is all about politics. It's all about the fact that the Labor Party and the Green Party don't like the outcome of the 2008 and 2011 and 2014 general elections. They don't like them because they lost. They don't like the fact that the good people of Epsom elected my colleague David Seymour. They don't like the fact that my colleague Peter Dunn was elected by the good people of Ohariu. So they're seeking to relitigate that through the petty political point scoring of a member's bill that they know has no chance of success. And it's also hypocritical. The second reason, sir, is that it is hypocritical for Labor to advance this bill. Why? Because Labor itself has relied on coattail MPs in the past. When? Well, in 2002, when it relied on the vote of Jim Anderton, who took his good mate Matt Robson into Parliament with him after the election and who propped up the Labor government of the time. So it was okay for the Labor Party back in 2002 to use Jim Anderton's seat of Wigram, and they carefully encouraged people who were actually Labor Party supporters to vote for Jim Anderton's Progressive Coalition, the vainglorious party named after him, sir. So it was okay for the Labor Party back then. Oh no, but the moment Jim shuffles off his political mortal coil, sir, the moment he's gone, no, it's not good enough for any other party to use that provision, sir. Absolutely hypocritical, absolutely grotesque, sir. So the third reason why this bill shouldn't advance is the reason that my colleague Judith Collins pointed to and also Jackie Dean pointed to, which is that there isn't any consensus on this issue. Now, it's very important. Reform of our electoral law should be based on consensus. Broad-based consensus. And we know that the Labor Party has form, or lack of form in this area, I should say, after their disgraceful attempt to ram through Parliament, or not even attempt, their successful measures to ramming through Parliament before the 2008 general election of the disgraceful Electoral Finance Bill, which cracked down on free speech and really struck a hammer blow to the heart of our democracy, sir, all because they didn't like what some groups did in the 2005 general election. So, notwithstanding the concerns of the Human Rights Commission, the New Zealand Law Society, most of Parliament, all the submitters to the Select Committee on that, the Labor Party rammed it through. So we know that they have form when it comes to consensus on electoral law issues, sir. But the point is, when you do change electoral law, it should be something that's almost above party politics. You're never going to completely get rid of party politics out of a situation, get politicians talking about the electoral system. But it should be something that is a little bit independent, it is looked at impartially, is looked at a little bit neutrally, and things are done in good faith, sir, and that is certainly not what is being done by the Labor Party in the debate today. The fourth reason, sir, to close my speech, is that there is a very good reason for the coattail, or so-called coattail provisions. The very good reason in our electoral law for them is that it actually increases the proportionality of Parliament. And it was absurd to hear Dennis O'Rourke railing against it, saying New Zealand First is going to vote for this bill. After the 1999 election, New Zealand First did win an electorate seat, sir, when Winston Peters won Tauranga, and they got 4.3% of the vote, and they brought in 4 list MPs. So the New Zealand First Party has been a benefit of it. If this bill had been in place, if this was the law, only one New Zealand First MP would have been elected. So this bill increases proportionality. It makes Parliament fairer. It makes it more proportionate to the actual will of the voters.
Sorry to interrupt the honourable member. His time has